Today's 14. Okay, we're just going to start from here. We'll start over here. Just not we started. Even though we did it, I just want to go over it because we went through it quick. I'm doing it for Judah. Okay. It's about halfway down the page where the lines are not as wide as the bottom. Yud Gimel Amud Beis. See it? Slusa de Tanisa Heichot Matkarinon. Slusa de Tanisa. Here.
I got it.
Okay. Slusa de Tanisa Heichot Matkarinon. Meaning, there's on a fast day, the Shlich Tzibur has a brocha, which is the Kuf of Anenu, right? So where's that inserted? Between Goel and Rofe, right? Mm-hmm. We, in our private Shmoneh Esrei, we say the paragraph in Shomei Tefillah. We don't add a brocha, right? The brocha is only for the Shlich Tzibur. You with me? Okay, good. So it's Tzlusa de Tanis Eichem HaKarim. Where do you mention the Tanis, the subject of the fasting in the Shmoneh Esrei? Aber Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yitzchok Berei. So we had Rabbi Yehuda had a son, Rabbi Yitzchok, to speak on his behalf. V'dorash Yochid Shekibel Olav Taanis, Mispal Shel Taanis. He said that an individual who says his own Shmoneh Esrei, he adds a bracha for the Taanis, which is not the way. Ve'echen Omro, and where does he insert the bracha? Ben Goel l'Rofe. Maskul Rav Yitzchok. So he changes the girsa because he's speaking to his son is the one who spoke on his behalf, was his spokesman. So Maskul Rav Yosef v'chi yochid kovei bracha l'atz. Where do we find that an individual, when you say private Shmoneh Esrei, that you add a bracha? You don't, right? The way what do we say? We say Anenu in Shema Kolenu. That's what we say it. Elam Rav Yitzchok b'Shemei Tefillah. Where does the individual indicate that he's fasting? We add the paragraph to what? To Shemei Tefillah. Before we say Shemei Tefillah, the Baruch Atah Shemei Tefillah, we say Anenu right beyond Tzom Tanisenu. Chenom Rav Sheshes, or Rav Sheshes concurs with Rav Yitzchok, b'Shemei Tefillah. Right? Where do you add the paragraph regarding the fast? It's Shemei Tefillah, but an individual does not add a bracha to Shmoneh Esrei to indicate he's fasting. Between Goel and Rofe. Meisvei, we learned in the Brisa, Ein bein yochid letzibur. What's the difference between a yochid and a tzibur? See what this means. Yochid means an individual fasting, or an individual Shmoneh Esrei versus a shlich tzibur, or it can mean an individual fasting versus a communal fast, right? El shezeh mispal Shmoneh Esrei, zeh mispal Chesrei. So it says one prays 18 and one prays 19. So it seems to be a yochid only prays, says one bracha less. Yeah. So this is a question on who? There's a question on Rav Yehuda. Because Rav Yehuda originally had said, right? He had said that what? Rav Yehuda said to his son, Rav Yitzchok, that you do say you add a bracha. My yochid or my tzibur. What is the meaning of yochid, individual versus a communal? Ilem yochid mamish v'tzibur shliach tzibur. Does yochid mean the individual? And tzibur means the shlich tzibur. That's the repetition of Shmoneh Esrei. Hani cha'esrei. Esrin v'arbohavu. The shlich tzibur on a fast, when things become much more serious, they say 24 brachos. They add an additional 6 brachos to the Shmoneh Esrei, which the Mishnah later discusses. So it's not 18, 19, but rather what is it? It's 24. So yochid tzibur cannot be shlich tzibur. El lavochi gomer ein ben yochid the kibul of tainis yochid lioch kibul of tainis tzibur. What does that mean? If an individual fasts only not to eat and drink, then you don't say the bracha of you don't add a bracha to Shmoneh Esrei. You're individual Shmoneh Esrei. But what about if he accepts one himself a tainis tzibur, meaning all the areas of deprivation, not only eating and drinking? Then he says it. So what do we see from this price which we're quoting? That even an individual, not a shlich tzibur, he says a bracha between Goel Rofi, which is what Rav Yehuda originally had said, Not like Rav Sheshes, right? Not like Rav Sheshes. And Rabbi Yitzchok, Gemara says, no proof. No proof. I'll tell you what we differentiate between 18 and 19 was the Chazor side, the Shlich Tzibur versus the individual. Individual never says a brach himself. But we ask the question, Kasha lo Shlich Tzibur Esrim Varbo Matzli. A Shlich Tzibur has 24 brachs, doesn't have 19, right? So Gemara says, no, it's not difficult. Gimel, where's the Bach? Bach. Aleph. Yeah. B'kamaiso, the lekach of that. We're speaking about the first three fasts. The first three fasts. Right? The lekach esrim v'arba. They're only, so therefore, in that, when the shlich tzibur, when you have the first three fasts, which is only not to eat and drink, right? That, he adds one bracha. The shlich tzibur has not 18, he has 19. But the individual always has 18, and the individual never says the additional bracha. Okay? Someone says, "V'lo, how could you say that what? That vo ein bein katoni, ein bein gimel rishonos l'gimel emtzos el shebe'elu mutar basis malocha, ve'lasur basis malocha. Halach of dal zev zeshavin seems to be that even the first three fasts they fast. They see 20 because it says the only difference between the first fast and the other fasts is whether you're permitted to work. Well, you're not permitted to work. First three fasts, it says you're permitted to work. When they legislated the second three fasts, it says you're not permitted. But it seems to be, but in regard to the number of brachos, they're the same. So you see clearly that what? So what is, if that's the case, what is the difference between 19 and 18? It's not the shlich tzibur, but rather it's what? It's whether the individual accepted a fast upon himself, not just to eat and drink, or even more serious than that. But you see clearly, some more answers no. Tarvishayir, that there are other differences. There were other differences besides whether you permitted to melacha. The difference is whether you say 19 brachos or whether you say 24 brachos. Someone says, Maishai, Daishar, whenever the Tana leaves out something, and there's only one other thing to mention, he'll mention it already. If there are multiple things, he leaves it out. Someone says, what did he tell me? He left out that. If there's only one thing, he would mention it. Maishar, Daishar, Visu, Ha'im Benkton, it says, there is no difference between the two of them. Means there's no other difference other than that. That means seemingly regarding the number of brachos, they're the same. So the brayso we quoted before, we said there's a difference between 18 and 19. Evidently, we're not speaking about, right, that fast. Elatana bisura kamai b'tfil still kamai. No problem. The ein bain is no proof in that. The Tana is only speaking about what are you permitted to, what you're not permitted to. But the nature of what kind of Shmon Esrei you say, he's not discussing that. So therefore, it's not difficult. So when we said before, the difference between when do you add 18? When do you say 19? The first three fasts, which is the shlich tzibur, it says 19, the 19th bracha between Goel and Rofi. The individual never says 19th bracha. Individual when he fasts, when does he say Anenu Shomei Tefillah? That's where he inserts it. Okay. Viba Sema, or we could say Bem Tzisanami Lo Matzli Chav Dalit. Even the second, because you have 13 fasts, you have 3 and 3, and then 7. He says even the middle fasts also you don't say, right? You don't pray 24 brachos. Someone says, "Hello, how could you say that?" Well, Tanya, we learned in the Bryce, Ein bein gimel shnios l'sheva achronos. There is no difference between the second 3 fasts and the last 7 fasts. El shveilu masriyin v'noam es chanuyos. We blow the shofar and you close the stores. Hol chol devreim zeh v'shavin. So you see the second 3 fasts, definitely you say 24. So how could you tell me the second 3 fasts you don't say 24 brachos in Shemon Esrei? Maybe you won't say the Tana when he says Ein Bain, he left out this also. Meaning one of the differences whether he closed the fast, closed the stores or he blow the shofar, but also there's this difference also whether it is 19 or 24. Somewhere says, well, Ein Bain Ktoni, but it says Ein Bain. When he says Ein Bain, it specifically means nothing's left out. V'tizbaro, so the Gemara says, Ein Bain Dafko. So he says, and even if it says Ein Bain, does Ein Bain mean these are the only differences? There also may be. V'shayr Teva, he says, he did leave out something. The halacha is the last 7 fasts, when they fast, they take the Aron Kodesh, they put it in the street. We'll see later, and they put ash on top of it because it becomes a public mourning situation. Public. So you see, he did leave out something, even though it says the difference between the last 7 and the 3 that precede it is whether you leave the stores over below the shofar, and even though it says Ein Bain, you see, even when it says that these are the only difference, there's certain things that were left out. The last 7, they put the Aron Kodesh in the street. They pray in the street. They don't pray in the shul. This becomes like a public event. That it doesn't mention the Aron Kodesh being put in the street, that's not considered, it was left out. Why? What the Mishnah differentiates, the Ein Bain, is things that we do in private. What we do in private, which is not a public display, that's we distinguish between the 3 and the last 7. The Teva, that's public. That's a public display. That goes on outside the shul. So that we're not discussing what goes on outside the shul. That's in the street. Okay? Rav Ashi is Mastis and Nami Deiko. He says we're able to deduce this even from the Mishnah. Diktoni Ma'elu Yiseres Al Rishonos. It says, and what do we see that the last fasts are more than the first fasts? Read the first. El Shebe'elu Masriin V'Non L'Sachonus. The last ones you blow the shofar and you close the stores. Remember, the Mishnah says the doors are not open like for business. Only towards the evening they open a little bit. Thursday they're open because that's for Shabbos. Aval b'chol divreim zev zeh shovin. But it says regarding to everything else they're the same. B'chitei b'hochanami. Ton of Vishayir. Maybe you would say here also the Tana also left out. Ma'elu ktoni. It says elu. It is ma'elu dafka v'shayir teva. Teva is left out. The Aron Kodesh is not mentioned. It says imishum teva lav shiuru. Why? The same thing. He says the reason is bishum the kachoshla b'idach pirka. You know why the Tana doesn't mention the Aron Kodesh? Because later in the Mishnah, the Tana only mentions something. Let's say he wouldn't mention it. If he doesn't mention it, you don't know it. What about later in next parak? He mentions when it reaches the last 7 fasts, you put it in the street. Does he have to mention it now? See, no, because he's going to mention that later anyway, so he doesn't have to mention it now. Once you're saying that, that it doesn't mention the difference between the last 2nd fast before the last 7, that the difference is 24 versus 19. You know why it's not mentioned? Because later in the Mishnah, a later Mishnah, it discusses when you say 24 brachos in Shemon Esrei. Once you're saying this, it's not considered, it's left out. Why? The Tana B'idach Pirka, next Pirka discusses what you want when you say the 24 brachos, when you don't say the 24 brachos. So we wonder, what's the halacha? An individual, if he has a fast, does he add a bracha to his Shemon Esrei? He does not answer. Right? What's the conclusive, the definitive halacha? Omar Rav Shmuel bar Sastroi, interesting name, never find this in Shas. Shmuel, the son of Sastroi, says, Chen Omar Rav Chia bar Ashi, Omar Rav, Ben Gol Rofe. Where do you say, even a private person davens, is fasting, he adds a bracha between Gol and Rofe. Rav Ashi Omar Mishmeid Rabbi Anai, Bereid Rabbi Shmuel, B'Shomei Tefillah. Rav Ashi says the name of Rav Yani, the son of Rabbi Shmuel, no. A private fast, an individual Shemon Esrei, you add it to Shemei Tefillah. One does not say. The hilchsa and the halach is v'Shemei Tefillah. That means an individual and a person's private fast, he never adds a bracha. The only person that adds a bracha is the shliach tzibur. That's 19. When the shliach, that's 19. But the individual, it's a regular Shemon Esrei. Even alone. Individual never adds the bracha. The only time a bracha is added is only when it's a shliach tzibur. Tani, Chada, we learned in one brisa. Ubros aminikos. What about a woman's pregnant or she's nursing? Right? Does she fast? Misanos b'rishonos, misanos b'achronos. They fast the earlier fast. They don't fast the latter fasts. That's one brisa, because there's contradictions. For Tanyida, there's another bride that says, Misanos achronos, vein misanos b'rishonos. They fast the latter fast, they don't fast the earlier fasts. For Tanyida, and then we have another third bride says, Ei misanos lo b'rishonos lo b'achronos. They don't fast the earlier fast, they don't fast the later fast. So we have 3 brises which are contradictory. First one says, the first and not the last. Second one says, the last, not the first. And the one says, not the first and not the last. So how do we reconcile 3 statements which are contradictory? Rav Ashi. So Rav Ashi says very simple. We have 3 sets of fasts, right? It says initially when the problem starts, who fasts? Only Talmidei Chacham fast. It goes beyond that point, who fasts? Ordinary people fast. What kind of fast do you fast? Just not eating and drinking. Then you have an additional 3 fasts, which Bezdin decrees. But that fast, what is it? All 5 areas, it's a 24-hour fast. All areas of deprivation are off limits. Also, you don't do malacha. Then you have the last 7, which is much more serious. You close the stores, you blow the shofar, much more serious. So we have 3 types of fasts. The first time you fast is what? It's only a day fast, limited to eating and drinking. Right? That's the first fast you fast. We're talking about the masses. The second fast, set of 3, the masses fast, is what? You 24-hour fast, 5 years deprivation, no work. Besides the bathhouses, stores are closed. And then you have the last, in addition, you blow the shofar. Right? You blow the shofar. And you blow the shofar and you close the stores. You close the stores. Not only the bathhouse, even the stores. So therefore we said like this. What we say originally, the kol emsius biyodoch, the b'tartzuk, now it's all answered. Why? Because when it says the pregnant women, they fast the first ones and not the last, I mean, it's referring to the center one. You hear? It means the one before the last 7. And when it says they fast the last and not the first, what does that mean? The last, not the first, it means the middle one, not the first 3. Of course, it's not that serious yet. It's not that serious. A woman's pregnant, she doesn't have to fast. It gets more serious, she should fast the second 3. The last one, it says they don't fast, not the first, not the last. The first, they don't fast because it's not serious. The last, if you're fasting 7 fasts, it's just too much for a pregnant woman or a nursing woman. She doesn't fast that whatsoever. That's only the last 7 fasts.
The last 7.
We didn't discuss that yet. That's going to be in the Mishnah later. That hasn't been discussed yet. Omer Avash, yeah, okay. It says, Ma'elu Yisera Sal Rishonos, the last 7, and what do you do additional, in addition to, over the first 3, the 3 that preceded, Shemela Masriim V'Noalin Nesachanuyos. The last 7, you Masriim, which normally means you blow the shofar, and you close the stores. The stores are closed during the day. They're not open for business, even to sell food. It's not you buy the food during the day to break the fast at night. It's right before evening, they open the store a little bit, people buy, and they break the fast. But my masrin, usually what does the word masrin mean? Masrin means you blow a sound. It could be with a trumpet, it could be with a shofar. What do you use? Rav Yehuda Omar b'shofros. Masrin means with a shofar. Okay? Rav Yehuda Braid, Rav Shmuel Bar Shilas, Mishmei the Rav Omar, Ba'anenu. Hear this? Anenu. So it means now, what does it mean? It means you cry out. You say Anenu. Kol Sogadait. So initially you understood what it meant. Masri means Anenu. Madiom Anenu, Lo Amai B'Shofras. Masri means like you're crying out. With Anenu. Hashem Anenu, answer us. So he holds with voice, with your mouth, not with the shofar. Mandi Omer b'shofar, the one who says with the shofars. Lo Omer b'anenu, it's not anenu. Tanya, we had learned in the Brisa in Polsim Yisheva Tinius Ala Tzibur. It says you have minimally 7 fasts. We're talking about the last fast, which you impose on the Tzibur. Shebhen Yudches Hasros, which you blow 18 blasts. Right? 18 blasts. What does it mean? The last 7, you have 24 brachos, correct? So you have the regular 18 plus 6. The regular Shmona Esrei, by each bracha you don't blow the shofar. But by the last 6, each one you blow 3 blasts. Tkiya, trua, tkiya. Albert, it's your area. Tkiya, trua, tkiya, okay? So each one, you say, Anenu, the way you answered Avram Avinu. Right? Anenu, the way you answered Yitzchok. Anenu, the way you answered this Elio Bar Carmel. Whatever the brachos, the 6 you add. So it says, the 6 are 18 blasts. So it says clearly that, so what does a blast mean? A blast doesn't mean crying out. 18 blasts with all you blowing the shofar. That's what it means. So that's the first question. How could you say that the one of them interprets Masrin means you just cry out? Here it says clearly, explicitly in the Brisa, that the 6 brachos that you add to the Shemona Esrei, How many blasts do you have? 18? So you see, if it's a blast, you do it with the shofar, right? The similar dover, and where do we find that that's the way you do it when you cry at Hashem? Yericho. What did they do in Yericho? They encircled it, and they blew the shofar, and then the wall sank into the ground. Yericho shofar savru. And in Yericho, what did they, when it says they cried out, they didn't cry out, they blew with a shofar. So this refutes the one who says that Masriin means Anenu. Elosimo retracts. Ela b'shofar kuli amalo pligi. The Kori le'asra. Everybody agrees once it's Masriin. In the Mishnah, the last 7 fasts, you have Masriin means they blow the shofar. And you have 18 blasts, 3 for every one of the brachos. Right? 6 times 3 is 18. Tkiya, true tkiya. Pligu ba'nenu. They're arguing, what about Anenu? Is Anenu called Hasra? Do you cry out Anenu? You say private, you say quietly yourself. Or you also scream, you cry that out. Marsav Kurle Hasra. One is of the opinion Anenu is also called Hasra. Not only is blowing the shofar called Hasra, even Anenu is called crying out. Marsav lo Kori Hasra. Lamandiyu Anenu. So if you cry out, when you say Anenu, Kol Shkem b'shofros. So definitely you have a shofar. In addition, Anenu, you cry, you say it out loud. Anenu Hashem, everybody says it in unison, out loud. So definitely you have the shofar. It's a public declaration that there's a problem. Mandu shofars, Anenu lo. Anenu no, you don't cry out. Anenu you say privately. You say Anenu. Aivo Tanyo, we learned in the Brisa. Ushar kol ni paranim srakshos. Right, the Mishnah only speaks about if there was a drought, it didn't rain. What about if you have other tragedies? Locust, disease, other things. You have the same type of fast, no different. And it doesn't go away. You fast these kinds of fasts. Shar kol mi paranis hamisrakshos gagon. Chichuch. Chichuch. What does chichuch mean? How does he interpret it? It means like itching. Itch. Whatever it is. Chagov. Chagov is locust. Zvuv. Like there's such an infestation of insects, they go in your eyes and your nose, like in Africa, eventually they get blind from it. The flies go in people's eyes. V'tzira. Tzira is the tsetse fly. Yitushim, mosquitoes. Shiluach nechoshim, infestation of snakes. Akrabim, scorpions. Lo yimasrin el etzokim. It says over there, they were not masriya, but they would cry out. Right? So what does it mean? It says explicitly, were not masriya, but they cried out. So what does that clearly mean? Masriya means shofar, and tz'oka means crying out. They didn't cry out. Mitz'oka b'peh. So what is tz'oka? That's crying out. Hasra b'shofros. And hasra means, you see the word hasra means shofar. Hasra does not mean, so we have a problem. We just said everybody agrees that when you have a shofar, you need a shofar. The question is, do you cry out with the anenu? So one of them says hasra also means crying out. But we see clearly from this brisa we just were quoting that the term for crying out is tza'oka, not masriyan. Because it says, it says, here they were not masriyan, but they were tzoakim. So you see the word masriyan doesn't mean anenu, right? So if you want to say you cry out the anenu, how would you say it? You would say tzoakim. Okay? So Mar says tanoi. So Mar says it's machlokes tanoi. The tanyo. Al edel misraim masrim b'Shabbos. Al ir shekifu goyim. It says for these problems you masrian on Shabbos. A city that goyim an army laid siege on a city, a Jewish city. Masriyan, we'll see in a minute. O Nor, a river is overflowing its banks and everything's going to come inundated. Masriyan. Al Sfina b'Terefes b'Yav, a ship is listing in the ocean. Masriyan. Rabbi Yossi Amar le'ezra v'lo l'tzoka. You call for help, but you don't cry out. Lo l'tzoka b'mai. When it says over here Masriyan on Shabbos, what does the word Masriyan mean? Ilay b'shofros, shofros b'Shabbos b'shori. We never find ever that you blow the shofar on Shabbos, even in a time of problem. So we see clearly from this brisa. So what is the meaning of Masriyan? Masrin, the term Masrin means crying out. You cry out to Hashem. So we find Masrin is not only a term used for shofar, from the word trua, it's even for crying out to Hashem. Elav banenu. So we see clearly, Masri means, how are you crying out to Hashem? Anenu, Hashem, Anenu. Right? Hashem, answer us. That's what they're crying out. The Korile Hasro Shmaminos is a conclusive proof that the term Hasro Masriin not only does it mean shofar, but it could also mean crying out with Anenu. You know, in Slichus we say this, even though we say it at the end. Anenu, Hashem, Anenu, Anenu. All the Anenus continuously. Right? You're going. I thought you were leaving 5 minutes early. Huh.
That's it for the summer.
Okay. Then there's Hampton. Okay. 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 Mishnei Rabbi Yehuda Nasi Havitzaro. Yeah, in the time Rabbi Yehuda, this is not Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. This is like a grandson of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. This is not Judah the Prince, Rabbeinu HaKodesh. There must be a footnote here. Right. He's a grandson. Okay. So in his years of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi Havitzaro, there was a problem. So what do? Gaza plus Esrei Tani, he decreed they should fast 13 fasts, the Mishnah. You have 6, then you have the last 7. Howard, you with me? Yes. V'lo yani, you hear this? And after fasting this 13 fasts, Hashem did not respond. No, the problem continued. Sava lemigzat face. He says, you know something? We'll decree more fasts. Even though they exhausted the 13, he said we should decree more fasts. Omale Ravami, so Ravami says to Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya, Harei Omru Ematrichen al Tzibur Yosmidai. You can't overburden the people. You can't. 13, that's maximum. Beyond 13, that's overkill already. It's too much. You can't burden the people. This Ravami says to Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya. Omer Rabbi Abba, Bereder Rabbi Chia bar Abba, listen to this. Rabbi Abba, the son of Rabbi Chia, says, Rabbi Dovid Lagarmi Hudovet. The truth is, he tells Rabbi Yehuda, really, you could fast more than 13. He doesn't want to be bothered. He's telling you, you have no right to overburden the people. But halachically, you're empowered. If you want, you can. It was for his own convenience. That's why he didn't want you to overdo it. I mean, it's an unusual type of comment. I mean, if the right thing's to do, what do you mean? He's misleading you. It's really to accommodate his own. It's too much for him. That's why he doesn't want you to impose it on the tzibur. He says, why did Rabbi Chia bar Abba say Rabbi Yochanan? Lo shomar el gshomim. You hear this? Listen to this. If 13 fasts are fasted when it doesn't rain, when there's a drought, then you don't fast more. Hashem's holding it up. That's it. You don't fast maximum 13 fasts. But other tragedies, chas v'shalom, that come upon communities, you continue fasting. For rain, 13 is maximum. For others, you just keep fasting. Continue. Tanya Nami Hochi, we have a brisa which supports this, differentiates between rain, drought, and other issues. Okay? Kishamru Sholosh, Shamru Sheva, when they said 3 and then 7, Lo Amru Ela L'Gshamim. That's regarding rain, if there's a lack of rain. Avol L'Shamini Paronius, but if there are other tragedies, Misanid V'Holchin Achianu, you continue fasting till Hashem responds. Till Hashem listens to our supplications. So verses Lemetevet Tufted Rabami. So we see clearly what Rabbi Yehuda Nasi wanted to do, the seer wanted to do, was the correct thing. It doesn't help if you keep going. He says you have no right to overburden the people. So this refutes Rabami, right? That refutes him. Here it says you could go for other tragedies. You go beyond the 13. So it's Tufted Rabami. It's a refutation of Rabami. Amalach Rabami Tanohi. Rabbi says no. This issue, whether for other tragedies could go with Yom 13, that itself is a machlokes tanoim. The Tanya we learned in the Brisa, and Gozrin Yoseh Misholosh Eshitainu Salitzibor. You're not permitted to decree more than 13 fasts on the community. Why? Exactly his words. Lefi Shematrichin Esatzibor Yoseh Midai Divrei Rebbe. This is Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. You have no right to overburden the people. It's already overburdening. Therefore, 13 is maximum. So Rabami was saying, he was assuming the position of Rebbe, a Rebbeinu HaKodesh. Reb Shimon Omer, Reb Shimon says no. Reb Shimon argues with Rebbe. Lo min Hashem who's here. Elo neishi yotzes man sharvis. You know why you don't go beyond 13? Because there's no point, because if it rains out of season, it's a curse, like the Mishnah says. If it starts raining too late, not only is it not beneficial, it's destructive. Shochalei b'nei Ninveh the Rebbe. Jews lived in Ninveh. I don't know what Ninveh is today. Where's Ninveh? It's in Bavel. Okay, he says Ninveh. The old Ninveh was in. Yeah, I always thought it was in Iraq somewhere. He says Transjordan. Okay. Shochlei b'nei Ninveh the Rebbe Kagon Anan. Yeah, this. See, it doesn't make sense because it can't be. It's not transferred immediately on them, because he says over here the story was they sent Rabbi Yehuda Anossi a question like us. Tafil because Tammuz being in Nitra. Even the summertime we still need rain, right? Like in the United States, we need rain always. There's always something growing, so it's always rain is needed throughout. So we even in Tammuz, even the summer season, we need rain. If it's the other side of Jordan that has the exact same climate as. See, it's Iraq. We're not talking about this is Jordan. Okay? So Hechinavit. So that question is like this. Now, in the winter, we say Saint Talamoter, correct? In the summer, we say Saint Brocha. Let's say a person, for what we need water for some of. So it's a request. Where do we say? Where do we insert the request for rain? We don't say Saint Talamoter because it's summertime. We say it in Shema Kol Meinu. It's like any other request. The person has a personal request. You make an Shema Kol Meinu because it's a general request, right? So they want to know, we in our region, that we need rain. Do we look ourselves as individuals, and therefore our request should be inserted in Shema Kol Meinu? Or do we say, because we're a region, although it's the summertime, but since we're still in need of rain in the summertime, the region needs rain, maybe saying Saint Talamoter, even though in Eretz Yisrael they say Saint Brocha. No. We say no. Again. Of course, the season, like the season in the United States and Eretz Yisrael, are the same season, right? South America, what do? South America's the other way. It's interesting. In South America, they sing Saint Talamoter in the summertime. They sing Saint Talamoter. They don't say Saint Brocha and they insert in Shema Kolenu, a special request for rain. They don't do it that way. But that was their shaila. Go nanan da feel because Tammuz being a mitzvah, even in the season of Tammuz, the summer months. Ki echidim daminon or karam daminon. Ki echidim daminon. Do we look at ourselves as individuals? Uber shemei tefillah. So where do we make the request for rain? In shemei tefillah. Or karabim daminon. Or we look at ourselves like a rabbin, like Klal Yisrael. Ubrichas hashonim. And we say Saint Talamoter, even though it's the summertime. That was the shaila to Rebbe. Shalach lahu, he sends it back, an answer. Chidim damisu. You're considered individuals, even though you may have 1 million people there. Uber shemei tefillah. And therefore, where do you make your request for rain? In shemei tefillah. Very simple. Meisvei, we learned in the Braiso, Omer of Yehuda, a Mosai, Bisman Shashon Kitikunu Vishoshuna Mosan. Well, we had the Sanhedrin, and the years the months were determined, and everything was correct, and most Jews lived in Israel. Then anybody outside of Israel, even if they needed rain, where did they insert the need for rain? In Shemei Tefillah. Avol b'zman hazeh, but today we're dispersed all over. Hakol lefi hashonim, hakol lefi makomos, hakol lefi zman. Everything's determined by the years, where your location is, and what the predicament is. That's it. That means even in the summertime, if the region needs rain, you're saying to Saint Talamoter. So we have a brisa which is contrary to Rebbe. Right? We're quoting over here a brisa. Right? Omalei. So they say, Rebbe ruled, what did Rebbe rule? you insert a Shmoneh Tfisis. But we have a Tosefta that says clearly, you say Talmud in Baruch Hashanim. Somewhere it says, Omalei, Masnisa Romalei the Rebbe. I mean, you're asking from a Bryce on Rebbe. Rebbe Tanahu, Upolik. Rebbe has a right. I mean, you can say to Hillel, how do you disagree? Shammai says differently. Hillel is the equivalent of Shammai. He could argue. Rebbe gave his ruling. You have a Brisa that says differently. Rebbe argues with the Brisa. That's Rebbe's position, right? Rebbe who? Rebbe Tanu Polik. My Havayalo. So one halachically, how do we conduct ourselves? Do we conduct ourselves as Rebbe said, or as the Brisa says? How do we conduct ourselves? Rav Nachman, Rav Nachman Omar Birchas Hashonim. Rav Nachman says you say it in Birchas Hashonim, not like Rebbe. Rav Shesha b'Shemei Tefillah, you insert in Shemei Tefillah. They're considered Yechidim. V'Hilchsa b'Shemei Tefillah, and you say it in Shemei Tefillah. Not in the summertime. You say it's irrelevant what your needs are. You could be a region. It's all determined based on Eretz Yisrael. Whatever Eretz Yisrael needs, that's what we say. Everything else is considered personal request. I'll tell you, and that's what the Shulchan Aruch rules. So when I saw the way to conduct themselves in South America, in Argentina, I was there in the summertime, and over there it's winter in the summertime. They were saying Talmud in Shemona Esrei. They should have said the request should have been made in Shemay Tefillah, and this is the ruling of Shulchan Aruch. Okay, ready to go a little further. Pace to go a little slower to get it clear than to just rush through it. The Mishnah says the last 7 fasts, what do they do? B'sheni matin im chashecha. The stores are closed all day. Towards evening, they open the store a little bit. The door is not wide open, right? For people to go in, so the door not being wide open is an indication it's not usual business. We're not open for usual business. Ub'chamishi kol hayom minei kvod Shabbos. But on Thursday, it's open all day, the store, to purchase food. That's what? To prepare for Shabbos. Iboilu. Hechi ktoni. How do we understand the Mishnah? Bebeis matin im chashecha ubehei kol hayom minei kvod Shabbos. Yeah? Does it mean, matin means the door is partially open. It's not like wide open for business. Matin means it's Monday. So we say, on Monday, it's only towards the evening they open the doors slightly for you to be able to go in. But the door's not wide open. No. This is a 24-hour fast. These are the last 7 fasts. Everything's like a Yom Kippur. No, the 5 areas of deprivation.
So why does it say it opens in the evening only?
That's the Mishnah. It's Mondays. Monday, it's only open towards evening for people right before evening to purchase food, to break your fast. People have to buy food to break their fast. You don't buy it in the morning. The food, you buy it before evening. On Thursday, for Shabbos, so we want to, is it also, it's open partially all day, but not wide open on Thursday. What do we say? No. Because it's for Shabbos, we open the door wide. It's wide open. People should come easily in and out. People should be aware it's fully in operation to prepare for Shabbos. No, every fast is always Monday, Thursday. They go in groupings of 3. They're consecutive, yeah. So these 7 fasts are 7 consecutive fasts. Right? So Gemara wants to know, does it mean on Monday it's partially open, but you open it partially towards evening, and on Thursday it's partially open all day? Or Dilma, no. B'sheni matin. On Monday, it's open partially before evening, towards evening. Uchamishi poslan kol hayom kulo. Right? Poslan, you open it wide, and it's open all day. That's the shaila. Here, you had a question. Howard, not too complicated. Okay? We had before nim velo nim, tir velo tir. Even if, you could ask a person when he's semi-asleep, he's able to respond. Doesn't take too much brain power, this. Okay? Toshma, the Tanya, we learned in the Brisa, B'sheni matin ara erev. On Monday, you keep it open slightly towards evening. Ub'chamishi postin kol hayom kulo b'nikvod Shabbos. Yes, it says clearly. On Thursday, it's open all day. Open for business on Thursday. That's covered Shabbos. Hoyelo shnei psochim. What about if the store had 2 doors? Right? You could have go the back door or the front door. right? Do you keep both doors open, or just one door is wide open, the other? So it says, Poseach echod v'noel echod. Only one door is opened. It's not fully, we want people to be able to come easily into the store. So one door being wide open is enough. You don't open the back door and the front door. Okay? What about if you had something slightly blocking? There was like a platform. When you open the door, you had a platform there. Because people don't, since it's blocked, people won't realize unless you open the door that it's really open. How does he explain the word itztabach? Usually it's platform.
Two doors, one is kept open, the other remains.
No, it's next.
Should there be a stand in front of the
A
door?
stand. So if you have a stand, it blocks it, so people don't realize that it's really open for business. So there, you open the door, so people should see that it's open for business. People should come purchase food. This is even on Monday, even on Monday. What? No. If the door is closed, people are not going to buy food. So if you normally open the door partially, you can look right into the door, you see what's going on, you see all the activity in the store. So why is it open partially? So people should know it's not an ordinary time. It's a time of problem. What about if you have a stand blocking the door? And if it's open partially, you can't see, it looks like nothing's on in the store. That means people are not going in. But we want people aware that the store is in operation. There is food to be bought. So even on Monday, you open the door wide because the door is being blocked. You don't really see what's going on in the store. No, Monday, even Monday. If it's blocked, even on Monday. Rashi says, afilu b'sheni, even on Monday. Okay? Tana, it says what? The last 7 fasts, one does not build, one does not plant. Now what kind of building? Person that has to build an extension on his house. That means even that you're not permitted. So it says, in the olden days, they would build, when a child would get married, they'd build an area where the children would be married, like a chuppah. That kind of structure you don't build. Netiyah shel simcha also. When a person would have a child born, they would plant a tree to express, as the tree grows, the child should grow. That's simcha, that's an expression of joy. It's not the time for it. You know, the problems, we don't do that. Building the area, the location of the chuppah where the son's going to get married. You plant a tree, so Rashi is either like I just said, you plant the child, and when the child gets old enough, you take the wood and you build like a chair for the child, or it means you plant a very large tree so people should be able to stroll under the tree. No, for leisure, to create a leisure space. You know something? It's not the proper time for it. You know, we're immersed in this terrible problem. You're going to be busy thinking about leisure time. It's not time to plant such a tree. No, you don't build. You don't build. It's the structure where the chuppah is going to take place. First, it says in the Mishnah you don't get married during the time either. This is like the 9 days over here. Okay, so you say, look, he won't get married, but maybe I could build a structure where he will get married. With time, this is going to pass. No, even during a veil. This public mourning over here. This is like the 9 days. This is not an individual getting married. You understand? First, in the old days, it took a year for them to get married because the woman needed a year to get married, right? And also, the Mishnah says they didn't even do ersin during this time. But here, you're building the chuppah for a year off. You don't do it. Pshelo shalom. One does not greet one another. Let's say shalom, like on Tisha B'Av, when you meet another Jew in the street, you're not supposed to say shalom aleichem. Okay? When Talmidei Chacham meet one another, they don't greet each other with shalom. Ami oretz, shalom. What about if you meet an amoretz and he acknowledges you? You respond, but with like in a lower voice, a lower pitched voice. Ubechova George, but with respect, because you don't want to create any animosity. As it is, there's a strain between the Amaratzim and the Chaverim. They would wrap themselves and cover their heads like Avelim, like people who were excommunicated, who were censured. Until Hashem is Rachmanis on us, they go in this like downtrodden type of posture. To be continued.